when I found out I was the other person the hard way. So I was like 21. I was in the Air Force. I was stationed out west, and I was using MySpace like a dating app because, it was 2007, and that's kind of what everybody was doing at the time. So I end up meeting this really cute blonde girl. She hits me up and she wants to hang out, and we start hooking up regularly. She was also 21. She said that she was just recently divorced from an Air Force guy. And, she was getting back out there, but she didn't want to be in any sort of relationship. She just wanted to have a little bit of fun. She was really witty and funny. And she wore this perfume that would leave my sheets smelling like her for days. And it drove me absolutely nuts. But she was super secretive. Like, I never had her phone number. She would only call me. And then we would only go get takeout. We would only go rent movies and kind of stay in. And she would always leave around like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, obviously, in retrospect, red flags, right? But for me, I was just kind of rolling with it at the time. She also claimed that she was in the Air Force, and I kind of had a weird feeling about that because we were out getting a DVD to rent one night, and she had a dependent ID. And if you've been in the military, you know the difference between a common access card and a dependent ID, but I just continued to roll with it. I'm just living this lifestyle, man. She just comes, hangs out, hooks up, and bounces, and doesn't want anything more than that. And I'm rolling with it. I did try to see if she wanted to go more exclusive, and she always kind of was like, well, I'm freshly divorced. I'm not sure yet. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So I'm sitting at my house one day, and my landline rings because, it was 2007 and, cable deal. And she's the only person that called that. So I pick it up and I'm like, hello. And all of a sudden, some dude's on the line. He's like, Sarah. And I thought it was one of my buddies messing around, just playing a prank, So I'm like, man, who the F is this? And this guy's like, hey, my name is so-and-so, and I'm Sarah's husband. And right there, I'm like, ah, crap. And I'm like, Sarah's husband? You mean ex-husband? Ain't she divorced? And he's like, no, she's not divorced. I'm still married to her. And I know you've been hanging out with her. Right there, I'm like, ah, crap, man. And the thing is he's like, look, I'm in the Air Force. I know you're in the Air Force. And if you don't leave her alone, I'm going to report you. I know what unit you're in, and I know who your first sergeant is, and I'm going to tell. And look, you can get in a lot of trouble for that in the military. And in my case, I had just survived Article 15 like 6 months prior, so I could not afford any more smoke. So in my case, I'm like, all right, man, well, she says she was divorced. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry about that. And I also was denying too. I'm like, I ain't done nothing with her, man. Like, I don't know, dude. I just kind of hung out with her a few times. And he's like, look, I'm going to leave her anyway. And we're in the process of breaking up, but you still are going to leave her alone. So I'm like, okay, man, whatever you say. I didn't do anything, but all right, I won't. Right before he hangs up, he drops a bomb. He's like, oh, and by the way, she's not in the Air Force, man. She's been lying about that to everybody. And I'm like, interesting. And he goes, and as I'm sure you're going to find out, buddy, she lies about everything. So I hang up and I explain to my roommate the conversation I just had. And, honestly, we start connecting the dots and neither one of us are that surprised. And at that point, my life was like a freaking sitcom. So it just kind of made sense. And wouldn't you know, about 10 minutes later, she just shows up unannounced. She walks in and she's all in a good mood and she's like, hey, do you want to go out and get some food? You want to watch a movie tonight? And right then and there, I start being like a super smart ass. And I'm like, oh man, the craziest thing happened today, wouldn't you know? I got this phone call. And she started looking concerned. And I'm like, yeah, so-and-so called. And man, he had quite the story to tell me. And she just starts going, it's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. He doesn't know anything. He's lying. He's crazy. He's a crazy person. At that point, I'm like, look, it's been real. It's been good. I don't know if it's been real good, but I can't see anymore. You got to kind of beat it. I can't afford to get in any more trouble. And I'm trying to not be a complete shithead boob all the time. And at that point, she gets really upset and she starts yelling at me and she's throwing stuff at me in my kitchen, like throwing some paper towels and stuff. And she turns around and starts walking out. But then I had a small weak moment. So as she's walking out the door, I'm like weighing my options and I go, okay, maybe he was a crazy person. Come back in. I'm sorry for everything I said. I needed one more, round with her. So at that point, that one more round turned into seeing her, here and there for a while. And look, she did eventually get divorced from the guy. They did kind of go separate ways. And I was kind of seeing her on the backside here and there. And before you think I'm the bad guy, I'm think what you want. But before you judge, you probably would have done the same thing. This girl has a magical powers. So leave a comment. Have you ever been the other guy, the other girl? Did you find out in the most awkward of ways? I mean, it was a pretty crazy situation. So if you enjoyed that, follow me for more nonsense coming your way.